You die once and suddenly you're not invisible. Explore the story of Heed, who was a corpse for a while but is back to life and trying to learn about just what had happened, only to discover the story is far stranger than that. Inspired by manga, Alter X Artifact is a new LGBTQ+ webcomic for mature readers revolving around magic and political espionage. This comic features fantastic elements, gripping storytelling, and impressive visuals that pull you into the strange but fascinating world of the comic. Alter X Artifact explores themes of magic, dreams, and relationships, all while deftly weaving a compelling mystery with eye-catching visuals. You're still in time to enjoy the exciting prologue as well, but you gotta hurry over onto the website. So, if you're looking for your next weekly webcomic read, you need to go to alterxartifact.com. That is alterxartifact.com. Now back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Supernatural Selection. I'm your host, Kevin the Bastard. With me this week are Mike the Skeptic. Mike, how are you?
I take umbrage with that introduction. I do not think any ladies nor gentlemen, in fact, listen to this show, and they're all just like goo creatures from Alpha Ceti Phi.
You just turned me on.
I'm sorry.
All right. And we've got Mr. David Davis. David, how are you today?
I'm doing well, my wife not so much.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Her voice is out right now, and she sounds like Stewart from Mad TV.
God damn it.
Look what I can do!
Yeah, Kevin told me that earlier, and I was like, you know, the character that like had his shirt tucked into his like tidy whities.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin's like, no, that's not that character. I'm like, but yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. I didn't remember. I've seen like one sketch of him, and he was wearing shorts. So,
well, the one sketch I've seen of him, he was wearing tidy whities with his like button-up shirt tucked into it.
Who was that? It was Michael McDonald, right?
Yes, he was in. He was in like one of the newer Halloween movies.
Yes, I remember him. Like, he was great in that one. But yeah, I've always liked Michael McDonald.
Yeah, they. I think both of the characters in that couple were played by people from there. I was watching. Spoiler alert! I watched Mandalorian, and I was surprised that like it's not just Amy Sedaris from Strangers with Candy on there, but David Pasquesi. He's in the Mandoverse too, and I'm like, oh, it's a Strangers with Candy reunion. Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Who's he?
Yeah, who is he in there?
He plays the obsequious Twi'lek assistant.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, the one from
Book of Boba Fett, yeah.
Yeah, Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah. Oh,
the Book of Boba.
Yeah, that guy.
This is for the other podcast, though.
Yeah. Again, we're that's why we need the other podcast.
Yep.
We can't help but cross the streams.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
do it in the bathroom all the time.
Let's start off with, first off, we have a new review. Well, new in that we just discovered it. David, where did you find that review, by the way?
I don't even fucking remember.
It doesn't matter. It was on a podcast platform. It is from someone with the username Hawkey316. It was posted on December 12th, 2022. And they just said, amazing show.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
High praise.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, that's a pretty damned high praise from the internet. I mean,
with the username, well, I was going to say with a username like Hockey316, they are probably a fan of wrestling, so I am very happy about that.
Okay. Is that a wrestling thing?
Yeah, 316, Austin 316.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, you sure it's not a John 316? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't mention anything about my mother or, you know, my sexuality, so that's quite an impressive review.
Yeah, there's a lot of words that did not get used in there that I'm glad weren't used in there. So before we move on to other stuff, I just want to say me and David have a friend that we've known for a long time. We know him by the username Nick Nitro. And Nick has a Kickstarter he is fired up for a comic project he's doing called Excavator. We have a link to it in the document. So if you want to head there, it'll be right up top. It is Kickstarter.com. The comic is called Excavator. He is looking for funding for issues 1 and 2. The art is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. It's got a very Mike Mignola look to it.
It does. It also reminds me of our old friend James Riot's art a little bit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Which, and he, admittedly, as he put it once, I have sucked the dick of Mike Mignola, yes. So, which he's the creator of Hellboy, for those that don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we've got some comments from the Peanut Gallery on our previous episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Darth Plato commented, Mike, and that white dog poop thing. Said he can picture it all cracked and weird and shit. I think I may have read the same article as Mike the Skeptic and similarly had a whoa moment.
Yeah, no, it's just such a weird thing. It's one of those things you don't think about, and all of a sudden it hits you in the face. You're like, you're right.
Yeah.
The formative thing of my childhood was not formative.
It's like the actual...
It was a background of my childhood.
Well, it's like you never think about, you didn't think about the Ninja Turtle cream pies until they were gone.
Oh, God, those things were so good.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're just like, man, I haven't seen one of those in a while. Oh, no.
At some point, that was the last time I ate a Ninja Turtles cream pie.
And you didn't know it.
And I didn't know it.
That's the last time I had a New York seltzer. I didn't know it was the last time I'd have one.
I was going to say it's a lot like if the Mandela effect was a real thing.
Sort of. Yeah. Well, also, one last thing I want to go into for housekeeping. There is some new info I discovered about the Pascagoula abduction, which I don't remember what episode number that is, but you can find it. It's called the Pascagoula abduction.
You found this out like hours ago.
Yeah, like several hours ago. There's a podcast called the Kryptonite Podcast, which is kind of like us if we were sports bros.
No.
But it's a good show, and I highly recommend it. They did one about Pascagoula, and apparently, the fellow we talked about, Calvin, that had a different experience from Charlie.
Yeah.
And Calvin talked about a gray came in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's written another book or two.
Ooh.
And boy, did the details keep changing. Now it's a female gray, and she reached up inside his mouth and played with his uvula with a super long middle finger.
That sounds like a kink.
It really does. And then she, finger banged his sinuses.
That's also a kink.
Yes, and I feel like we need to go back and cover this at some point. We need to do, an errata and corrections episode.
An errata?
I almost said that, dude.
Well, but I mean, it's the errata.
It kind of is, yeah. I just love how it went from being a gray to being a kind of weird... short, sexy chick with super long bird fingers.
Because he kept having wet dreams about the incident.
Also, he's 80.
That too.
And probably has, diabetes brain.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
You made it all sad.
I did. Well, I'll have that one day, so, karma will get me. So, this week, we're dipping back into the UFO well.
Ooh.
Now, last time, boys, that I had the saddle, we talked about a very serious UFO case, or at least serious to me, with Whitley Strieber, which I think was one of my favorite ones I've ever done. This week, we're going to swing in the other direction, and we're going to talk about an alien vaguely related to the Mothman, simply because it was in the same area. Today, gents, we're going to cover the story of Indrid Cold.
Ooh.
Now, our sources this week are The Mothman Prophecies by John Keel, The Visitors from Lanulos by Woodrow Derenberger and Andrew Colvin, and Beyond Lanulos by Tanya Derenberger and Andrew Colvin. A little nepotism there in the Derenberger family. Now, you guys ever heard of Indrid Cold before this? David, I know you have.
Yeah, I have for sure.
Yeah, at least from Hellier.
Mm-hmm. And from before that, too.
Once again, I would never have heard of this if it hadn't been for your insane ramblings.
Yeah, and the good news is my ramblings at work are so vague and weird sometimes, and Mike just kind of doesn't want to think about it, that this is all still going to be kind of new to him.
Yeah, I immediately switch off my long-term, memory, because I don't want that shit hanging around.
That's totally understandable, and I don't blame you.
He sounds like a Bond villain. Indrid
Cold? He does.
Yeah.
He does. He should have metal hands, and well, that's Dr. No, but still.
No, he sounds
like his whole gimmick is he deep freezes people.
He sounds more like a Flash villain.
He does.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my God, him and Captain Boomerang,
yeah.
They get done, and it's you know what? Let's go to Shoney's.
You know what's great is that Captain Cold is my favorite Flash villain, and one of my favorite villains ever. I fucking love Captain Cold, so I'm very happy now.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad we could do that for you. So, to tell the story of Indrid Cold, we really have to start with Mr. Woodrow Derenberger and his family.
So, somehow I feel like this is going to spin off into a reality show about a restaurant called Derenberger's.
Hey, welcome to Derenberger's. We got Optimus Prime in the back. He's making hamburgers. Sorry.
Well, okay, so number one, most people from Boston don't speak like they have a speech impediment.
No, they don't. Just Mark Wahlberg.
Derenberger's. That was started by the husband from Bewitched, right?
Yes, Derenberger's. That was his actual name. It wasn't Stevens, it was Burgers. But once the war started, they changed their name to Stevens. Yeah. Boy, I'm really glad I had something to fall back on that one. So, now, prior to November 2nd, 1966, Woody Derenberger had lived a fairly normal life. Difficult, though, from the little I've been able to gather. He'd worked odd jobs and tried hard to provide for his wife and 2 children. And he'd finally found a job he was good at and enjoyed. And he was selling appliances and delivering them himself. Now, the night in question was cold and raining, the miserable sort of night that leads to not much good.
I see you're practicing your 1930s noir detective writing here.
Actually, yes, thank you, and I cannot tell you how hard it was to not write, "It was a dark and stormy night."
She had gams that went up to Lanulos.
Oh, God.
So can we stop and appreciate the fact that you could deliver appliances and provide for a wife and child?
You know what? Yeah, I know.
He probably owned a house and a car.
Yes, he owned a farm, Mike.
Well, I'm depressed now. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why they call it the Great Depression.
Yes.
Fuck.
So, Woody was on his way home to Mineral Wells, West Virginia. I really want to emphasize.
Mountain Mama.
You know what we need is that Kill Bill siren. Every time West Virginia is mentioned, we just play that.
I kind of feel like you're right. So he's on his way back from to Mineral Wells, West Virginia, when a crash in the back of his Econoline van told him the sewing machine on top of the radio had finally fallen the fuck off.
Again.
So grumbling to himself, he turns the dome light on, which that dates this, to check for damage, and he sees a vehicle in the back window with no lights on at all that starts to pass him. As he turns to pay attention to the road again, the vehicle does pass him, and it is huge. He described it as looking like the glass globe of a hurricane lantern laying on its side and being a metallic gray as it moved into his headlights.
So a Tesla Cybertruck, then?
I said no. No, it did not look like a child's drawing. Mike, you got to back me up here. The Cybertruck's ugly as human sin.
Oh, it looks like something. It looks like a car or truck from the Nintendo 64.
It looks like my first CG model when I took a 3D model in class.
That's the only reason nerds like it, is because it looks like it was rendered on a Sony PlayStation.
I feel like if you're driving it, the only song that can play comes straight from the engine and just goes, Daytona!
No, that's too... That had
better
textures.
graphics?
It doesn't have the right sound chip for that.
That's true, yeah. So the vehicle, whatever it was, did something really bizarre and shockingly asshole-ish, guys. it brake checked him. And it did it until it got Woody to stop the van and pull over.
Knowing where this story is inevitably heading, I find the idea of visitors brake checking people to be the funniest fucking thing.
Yeah, seriously. Imagine, Mike, you get brake checked by a UFO.
Just a gray with a bumper sticker, like the South will rise again.
Oh, God. You know, I feel like a gray would be the one that has the Mothman ate my entire ass at a Denny's bumper sticker. Mike, you were going to say something.
I was going to say, so this wasn't really flying so much as like
it flew.
Racing him.
It was hovering, but
hovering is not flying.
Right. No, at this point, no, it's not.
It's a UHO, unidentified hovering object.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, I mean, it's moving, but it's so close to the ground.
Does it technically still qualify as a UAP?
Now, did they...
well, no, it's not aerial. It's... it'd have to be above the tree line, I think.
Here's my question. Did they check for the smudges to get rid of the wheels like they did with the land speeder in Star Wars?
They should have looked for Vaseline on the windshield.
Mm-hmm, or, mirrors underneath the vehicle.
That too.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's staring at this vehicle that's caused him to pull over in shock until a glowing panel on the side slides open and a man hops out into the rain. The man seemed to be just shy of 6 feet tall and was the spitting image for you younger kids of a young Stephen Colbert. For some of us, though, I'm going to say he looked like a younger version of the dad from Leave It to Beaver. Or J.R. Bob Dobbs from the Church of the Subgenius. He had black hair, slicked back. He had a warm smile and handsome features. He wore a green lame jumpsuit with a black trench coat over it, and he stood with his arms folded, paying no heed to the rain. In every way, he looked human.
Just like Stephen Colbert.
I mean, I'm wondering, is this like, the intergalactic bang bus?
Jesus Christ, Mike.
We need to turn that into a t-shirt.
Oh, God. We need to draw this man standing in front of the ship, and it's this intergalactic bang bus. All right, so Woody heard a stranger's voice in his head asking him to roll down the passenger side window. So he did. The stranger walked over to the window. Got to keep my tenses straight. The stranger walked to the window and looked in and spoke telepathically to Woody. He asked him his name, and Woody was too frightened to answer mentally or physically. Now, at this point, the man said something that it sort of sticks with me, and it may stick with you guys. I don't know. Don't be afraid. I come from a country much weaker than yours. What would you guys say if a dude jumped out of a UFO and told you that?
I don't know. If I saw a UFO, I'd probably still be freaking out. And the guy says that, I'm like, bullshit. You're in a UFO.
I'd prepare to invade for oil, but then again, I am role-playing Dick Cheney right now. No, it's just fair. Like this guy just comes up and like, look at how exposed and soft and weak my belly is. Oh, I do hope you don't stab it.
He's basically the human equivalent of a cat right now laying in the hallway.
Look at my weak spots.
His lame jumpsuits.
Yeah. Oh, man. So Woody finally answers and tells him his name is Woodrow Derenberger. And the man replies, my name is Cold.
Like, as ice?
Paradise. And this is how our story begins, guys. It does not get any more normal from here.
So he got banged in the space bang bus.
The space bang bus. So Cold asked Woody if he worked and what he did for a living, and if he needed to work for a living. And, of course, Woody answers, yes, I work. I work in appliance repair. I have to provide for my family. And then Cold asks, what are the distant lights down the road there? And Woody explains that's a city. And Cold says, where I come from, those are called gatherings. There's a reason I keep doing that voice. It just seems like that kind of guy.
Okay.
Yeah. You were going to say something, Mike.
No, I didn't have anything. Like, I was just kind of...
Well, then let's continue the story.
Let's continue this story. Anyway, sorry about that.
Where I come from, that's called my anus.
It's bleeding. I don't know. The bad thing is, Mike, you know the person I based Lewis and Coda's World on?
Yes.
I could picture him playing Indrid Cold.
Sure.
Yeah. After several minutes of bizarre small talk, Cold says he was going to go. But he says, we're going to meet again. And then he tells Woody, would you please report this to the authorities? I will verify the story for them myself at a later time. We never actually hear about Cold doing this. Not through official channels, anyway.
So the cadence of this experience so far also gives that kind of like strong Men in Black vibe. Doesn't
it, though?
Yeah, just like the weird reaction to everything.
Yeah, it's Man in Blackish. It is high strangeness for real. Kind of like the, shooting at the Hopkinsville Goblins and they go Looney Tunes Daffy Duck on you. So Cold walks back to his ship, and an unknown co-pilot reaches down and helps him back through the door. Then the ship shoots straight up and off into the distance. And that's when Woody put the hammer down and gets home. So, at home, Woody's wife, Catherine, and his children are waiting for him. Which it's late at night, but the kids stay up so they can see Dad, right? He walks in, pale as a sheet, and passes the kids without a word and falls into a chair in the kitchen where he explains what happened to his wife. Now, out of worry, his wife calls the authorities, and the sheriff and other local law enforcement come out and take a statement. And I want to point out that, according to everything I've read, the authorities were like, well, that's weird, man. Hopefully that guy does show up. Like, they just believed him.
I mean, it's the 60s. What are you going to do?
I don't know. It's kind of weird to me that law enforcement isn't like, and were you driving while you were drunk? So,
where was this? This was probably like
West Virginia,
small town.
Oh yeah, Mineral Wells.
He probably went to church with his with
obviously.
the sheriff. So he
probably sold him an appliance too.
Yeah,
sold him a washing machine.
Yep.
Why I bought that new microwave range off him.
Sold him a washing machine. Fucked his wife.
Yeah, well,
no,
I don't want to get into their marriage.
Any adultery here.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So, after the authorities question him and they talk and make a statement, they leave. And an hour later, it's 3 a.m. And the Men in Black actually show up.
Galaxy Defenders.
And I find it interesting that they showed up at 3 a.m., which is the witching hour and the prime time for high strangeness in the phenomenon.
Or you first, Mike.
I was going to say, so as someone who stays up till 3 a.m. almost every night,
right?
I have never seen high strangeness.
I have, but I think it's because when I'm up at 3 a.m., it's because I'm normally supposed to be asleep.
Well, I'm always up at 3 a.m.
Right. No, I know you are.
I think, look, if there is something to all this, as a little tangent, but if there is something to all this, I think it's like individual, because talking to some people at work, both of them say they've had weird experiences at one of their homes.
Yeah.
The bald guy. I'll say the bald guy. Kevin, you know who I'm talking about, right? Young bald guy.
Ah, yes. Oh, he's had some?
Yeah, at his house. Both of them. Both him and his lady friend.
I need to ask them about this tomorrow.
Yeah. And they were telling me this stuff. I'm like going, I'm trying to like come up with, rational explanations. And, They're like, okay, but what about this? And what about this? I'm like, fuck, this stuff never happens to me. Or if it does, it's like I go, oh, that's just, a moth, and just, stop thinking about it. So I don't know what to do. Like you said, I think you said before, there are some people that are weirdness magnets.
Yeah.
I must be the antithesis of it. Kevin, has your life gotten less weird living with me?
I would say
like
to an extent.
Experiences.
Personal experiences, yes, it has gotten less weird.
So maybe I keep it away.
Good, because you know what those experiences are, and I hate them.
Exude an anti-weirdness field.
Good, I'm gonna fucking hug your leg all night.
Now, I was gonna say, the last time I saw high strangeness at the witching hour is when the local coven made pot brownies. Haha.
Woo!
Yeah, I was waiting to do that one. It was not worth it.
Time.
Yeah, good times, man. All right.
Woo.
So, now, the two men in black that approach Woody's house tell him he better not open his damn mouth again about meeting Cold, or there will be consequences.
Now, did they do it in the same kind of cadence as Indrid Cold? Now, you shut your goddamn mouth, or else there are going to be consequences.
I have a feeling they talk more like this.
Yeah, probably.
Do they do the
You better
finger quote,
shut your damn mouth, or there'll be, quote, consequences.
I'm threatening you, but doing it in a cheerful manner.
Hello! If you say another damn thing about this alien, I will beat your ass. So, Woody, being the red-blooded American in West by God, Virginia that he is, tells him to go straight to hell. He will talk to whoever he damn well pleases.
And he put the lid back on the jar of his moonshine.
Are you really threatening me right now? Right in front of my family? Right in front of my salad?
In front of my salad. That's another shirt we need. Not in front of my salad.
Oh, no, we can't do that because that's been a meme for a while.
Oh, has it? I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't know the context of the meme. I'm going to have to educate you later.
Oh, yeah, you gotta.
It involves gay porn.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that took a direction.
It's great. It's great.
Turn the wheel. So, the next day, to emphasize what he told the men in black, Woody and his wife drive into town on the invitation of a local TV station to do an interview about his UFO sighting.
That's small town quick turnaround for you.
I know. Well, come on, man. You know, the sheriff told his wife told somebody told the TV station, and the TV station called and said, it is a real slow news day here in Mineral Wells.
Yeah, they got to run something else besides Doctor Who reruns.
I mean, we already did that story running that Democrat out of town. So, after spending the entire day in town doing the interview and just having a day on the town, they come back to find their yard is full of looky-loos, waiting to see if the UFO would show up and make contact as it promised. Now, this would become a regular occurrence at the house.
Now, we call those weirdos paranormal podcasters today.
Yes.
I wouldn't be on the person's lawn because I probably would have to be at work or asleep. But once again, this word is, he goes one night and all of a sudden, like, he's on TV.
He's on TV.
He's like, he's got groupies.
Live news broadcast.
I mean, I do find this starting to stretch credulity. Credulity. There you go. That's the word. I was beating around the bush.
There's actually a reason for this, too, because this is like at the tail end of a major UFO flap.
Oh, true.
It is,
and
it's West Virginia.
Yeah.
There's not much happening.
But don't they have moonshine to be making?
They've already drank it. And
I'm trying to stay away from the incest jokes here.
We'll get to those. Now, 2 days later, Woody was driving to make a delivery with a coworker when he hears a voice in his head saying that it's Mr. Cold. While driving, Mr. Derenberger, please pay attention to the road and drive carefully. My ship is directly above you, and we are speaking via thought transference.
Oh, he's having an episode again.
It sounds like you're getting ready to go on the ride at Disneyland, and they're giving you the instructions.
Please keep your hands and feet inside the UFO at all times. Yeah,
dude. Speaking of Disney, I heard that they're opening a Tron ride.
Oh,
and they're like having Tron like merchandise and stuff. And I was like looking at it, going, "Oh, you fuckers, you absolute
motherfuckers."
Yeah, they've been working on that Tron coaster in Florida for like 7 or 8 years because it was in Shanghai for the longest time.
Are they going to have? This is for the
other show.
Yeah, again, but I just want to know if they're going to have animatronic Daft Punk up there doing the music.
No, I've seen it. No,
man.
I saw a thing like all the like merchandise you can get. I'm like, they're really like used to be just like shirts and pins. And
now there's like action figures and
now you can get
discs.
You saw those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of my prized possessions that I have stored right now is I bought the deluxe Tron Legacy soundtrack, the big expensive version that came with the giant glow in the dark Daft Punk poster. Got that shit framed and everything like that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Right, pretty cool.
Anyway, back to our normal show.
Yes. So as Woody drove and his passenger wondered why he'd gotten all quiet all of a sudden, he learned a staggering amount about Cold and his home from the voice. The voice's full name, it said, was Indrid Cold, and he was from a planet called Lanulos in the Ganymede galaxy. Now, Mike, can you tell us why that's wrong?
Well, Ganymede is a moon of
Jupiter?
Jupiter, yes. I couldn't remember.
It's that Saturn or Jupiter one
of those. It's a moon in the solar system. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
And Lanulos is that lotion you put on your hands. No, that's lanolin.
Yeah.
But it does sound like, use refreshing Lanulos on your
nether regions.
Dry hands.
I was going to go with your parched nether regions, but sure.
That's what your teenage son will use it for, obviously.
Now, are we sure this isn't like a Men in Black, the galaxy is on Orion's belt thing?
I'm pretty sure it's got a lot to do with someone not knowing a lot about astronomy. He does, in the book, say he theorizes that they lied about that to throw them off the trail. Ooh. Now, the voice's home was a utopia with no war or violence because every man, woman, and child was telepathic and they could all understand each other. They were also all Christian.
Wait, what?
All of them. An entire planet of psychic Christians.
Oh, God, that sounds like hell.
Right, yeah. For being Christian sounds like a special kind of hell, doesn't it?
I'm just imagining. Imagine being around psychic Mormons, basically.
Right. No, I mean, did you gentlemen grow up around heavily Christian families?
Yes. Yeah. We're in the buckle of the Bible Belt.
My family was Catholic, and
that's different.
They were not very
devout.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I spent enough time around Christians where I'm just like, I feel my sphincter tighten in stress.
Yeah,
this.
I understand.
But Kevin, what aren't space Christians but Mormons?
Yeah, technically yes. I just picture people being unbearably pleasant and knowing everything you think
and judging you.
Yes.
All the time. You think I got a fart, and everyone around you is like, you
backs
son
up
of a bitch. Like they act like they've never farted in their life before.
Well, they may not have. We don't know that.
I'm just saying if
no, you wouldn't know that because you can read their fucking mind.
Yeah.
Well,
you read it back and know, yes, they farted like last week in church, but it was a little squeaker, and there was one.
But everybody knew because it
was when the pastor was snoring or whatever, so nobody heard it.
My brother vomited during a church sermon once.
Coming up.
Wait, what?
Yeah, my brother vomited during a church sermon once. It was awesome.
That's metal as hell.
Yeah, he's just a little kid. Like, I'm not much older. I'm probably like 9 years old, but he just like fucking vomits, and we're sitting up in like the first 2 rows. So my dad has to like pick him up and carry this vomiting child up the aisle.
That's the devil is leaving that boy.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. I was like, that's cool.
So, meanwhile, back with this voice in his head. So, the voice tells Woody that they wanted peace with Earth, but our governments were too hostile, so they were really going sort of a grassroots contact with people.
Real power to the people shit.
Yeah. It kind of makes sense. It's like, all right, well, your governments are hostile. We'll just make friends with, individuals, and then you fuck your government.
I mean, there'd have to be a lot more of them then.
So this is when January 6th was planned, right?
Yes, back in 66, in November.
January 6th of 1966.
Yep, that was it. So, after all this information, the voice told him it was going to break contact and that it could be quite painful and unpleasant. So, please, Mr. Derenberger, be careful driving.
I'm hanging up now. Goodbye.
You have mail. So Woody said the experience was actually quite pleasant, and he became elated. And he says his passenger knew something was up, but never really elaborates on how or
Dude,
why.
you cum your jeans?
Yeah. Did you just come? What the fuck, dude? No. You guys notice I only refer to it as the voice here?
Yeah, I mean...
I have a theory that it could just be him having a fucking stroke.
I was going to say, isn't that like a talk show? But no, that's The View.
Yes, that's different. The Voice is
Music
like
show.
a singing show, yes. One of them, their talent shows. Now, after this is the true beginning of the courtship of Woody and Indrid.
Hot.
Well,
extraterrestrial action.
It really kind of, like, I don't know, it's weird.
I'm trying to turn you on right now. Is it working?
Are you horny? Yeah. Is that as hard as you can get?
Ring, ring, are you up?
So a short time after their talk in the van, Indrid shows up with 2 friends.
Hot.
Friends with the far-flung alien names of Carl and Demo.
Now, is it demo or demo?
I don't know. It's spelled like a demo, like a demonstration, so I don't know. But they would stay outside on the early visits, and Woody would speak to them on the porch.
Did they serve them lemonade and, they were sitting in their rocking chairs talking about the Northerners?
Funnily enough, not at first, but as things went.
Kevin, so you're saying they are not men, they are Carl and Demo?
Oh, God damn it. All they want is freedom of choice. So, a lot of their discussions involve family life and understanding that God's love was the source of psychic powers. In fact, they even taught Woody how to transmit and receive thoughts. He said he could do this with at least 1 or 2 other people. Now, every time they visited at first, they would offer Woody a ride in their UFO. And Woody was terrified of this idea, even though he said he completely trusted these 3 guys. And after a time, he finally broke down and agreed.
Well, I kind of get what Woody's getting at, because I have people I trust, but I know that they are terrible drivers, and I wouldn't want to be a passenger. I get it.
I can think of one mutual friend of me and Mike's who, actually, there's somebody I went to school with in high school that, I loved her to death. She's a fantastic friend. Will not get in a car with her.
Yeah, look, if I see like a couple cans of 40s in the front area of the car, I'm going to be like, huh.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, on his first flight in a UFO, they asked Woody, where would you like to go? And he says, I don't know, the Amazon rainforest. So, they take him there. They float over the Amazon rainforest and the cities along the river. Mm-hmm. Before they start a tour of the solar system.
Oh, and there are cities along the river. So aside from the UFO thing, this isn't too odd.
I just didn't know that there were, like, big, vast, fucking sprawling metroplexes along the Amazon.
You're not going to get, like, a Los Angeles out of there, but, like, no, okay. Like, there's some decent-sized cities along there.
Okay, well, color me corrected.
There you
go. All right. So, they go out into space, which, great for him. They take a tour of the solar system. He was shown the moon and the vast bases and ships there. He saw Venus.
Now, do you think Ingo Swann, like, saw them pass when he was having a vision?
I thought of that.
Like, they wait. It's like the scene in Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they're at different ends of the restaurants just staring at each other.
See, I was actually thinking it was like, when the Guardians were on their way in the second movie and there's Stan Lee with the Watchers.
I was thinking it's more like the meme from the Umbrella Academy where they're just looking at each other confused as they pass.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's a fun headcanon. I'm going to make that, like, what I believe.
Okay, the Ingo Swann thing?
Yeah, just kind of like, oh, hey, there's a crossover episode.
Hey, these guys are naked in this dome.
That's cool. I'm going to Lanulos.
Yeah. So their next stop is Venus, with its vast jungles and rivers.
Yep.
Checks out.
Yep. And if that's hard to believe, they next saw Saturn, and that it's actually bowl-shaped, with people living in the bowl growing crops, and the rings are just the edges head-on. I'm going to pause here long enough for Mike to get anything out of his system that he feels he needs to.
I mean, okay, but then there's... So if the ring is the lip of the bowl...
Yeah, yep.
That means one side of the globe is like the bowl of the bowl.
Yeah.
What's the other side that completes the sphere that we see?
It's probably like one of those globes that has the drinks in it.
That's probably the atmosphere.
Oh, see, I never thought about the fact that...
The universe is stupid?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, good. Yeah, okay, I want you to remember that. The universe is stupid.
So it's like a bubble on top of a bowl. A bowl, if you will.
A bauble. A big, beautiful bauble. So, for the Patton Oswalt fans out there. So, after visiting Saturn and seeing this as a fucking bowl, the visitors were allowed inside the house finally.
Uh-huh.
Indrid brought his wife, Kimmy, and their sons, Connor and Connard.
Oh, wow. They were not very good at naming kids.
The boys played with his daughter while her brother was in school, and I find his son was absent for a lot of this.
Now, I was going to say, if they had a third son, you'd get Conari, and if they had a fourth son, he'd be Conarf.
God damn it. Mike, you were going to say something?
I did not realize it's Indrid's kids are Connor and Connard, because it was like his kids and the boys played with his daughter. I'm like, hey, where'd the daughter came from? But I figured it out.
Yeah, no. Indrid brought his family. It was Kimmy, Connor, and Connard.
Connar, not Connor.
It's
AR.
I know, but I've heard it pronounced by Tanya before, and it's Connor.
I think that's just,
It's Connor and Connard, just deal. Now, the men had the wives go and talk in the kitchen. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I wrote that. But there you go. While they discussed how Woody was to spread their message of space love and peace as much as possible.
You're going to be a missionary for us.
And it is Space Mormons, basically, when you get down to it. And the kids, of course, were playing upstairs in a cardboard box. I'm not joking.
No, I buy it. I buy it.
Yeah. It's also at this point that Indrid makes an odd sort of promise that he and his family would protect the Derenbergers for the rest of their family line. And to this day, his daughter Tanya swears that she and her children are under the protection of the Colds, very much to her children's dismay.
Now, if the Colds are the first line of defense, does that mean that there's a constant cold front?
If I could throw a shoe at you, I fucking would right now. It's puns like that.
I have to admit, a good pun.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it is a good pun.
It hurt. Which is what a good pun's supposed to do.
It's not a good pun unless you're in physical pain.
Yep.
Now, during all of this, folks are still coming around to see the UFOs. And Woody, in his book, says that they do. They're all waiting to catch glimpses of the aliens, though, never realizing that Indrid, Carl, and Demo are all in the crowd with them, keeping an eye on everything, or parked at the street.
Now, it's kind of like the end of Dark Knight Rises when Bruce gives Alfred that knowing smile at the cafe. Just
sure,
there,
it was,
nodding.
I was about to say sure if it was stupid, but the Dark Knight Rises was kind of stupid.
So there's this crowd of people around.
Uh-huh. And they see UFOs.
Really smiling, and they don't notice the weird UFO car just parked over there that they came out of.
Oh, we'll get to the car, Mike. We'll get to the car. Because it comes up later.
Well, and it's great because there's these moments in some episodes where we'll like talk and we'll bring up something, and it's like, oh, no, we're going to get to that. And you're like, oh, yeah. This is going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll get there. Now, things are all lovey-dovey between the Derenbergers and the Colds.
Wife swapping and everything.
Oh, dang it.
God damn, boys. Man, y'all are the same dude tonight. What the fuck? Wife swap ahoy.
There's two brain cells on the podcast, and Mike and I are sharing it right now.
So, since things are going so well, Indrid decides it's time to take Woody to Lanulos.
He took Woody all right.
Oh, yeah. He took all that Woody. So,
God damn it.
First, it's important to note that the people of Lanulos are completely without original sin.
Just must be fucking nice.
Because of this, they only wear clothes for protection or dealing with humans. So once he gets there, Woody is surrounded by a completely naked population of beautiful young people.
Now, when you say young,
I mean, like, even the old people look young. I don't mean looking. Like children. I mean, like, like Hollywood. Like,
okay, so yeah.
Like Hollywood 50-year-old, as opposed to 1960s, holy shit, you've seen a lot 30-year-old.
So it's like a party at the Playboy Mansion, then?
Yeah, basically. It's just like a bunch of, like, Ryan Reynolds and like Penelope Cruz or who the hell ever's popular right now. Just, it's just like really attractive people. And then Woody Derenberger.
Probably look like boiled leather stretched over, oak trees.
He's wearing his like delivery jumpsuit.
He wore a suit to deliveries.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's the 60s, man. He dressed up. You wore your going to Sears best to make
Gave everybody a cigar.
Had
brandy with him.
Yeah, no, it's great. He had these special cigars, stick them in the mouth, says it's a stove. But the point is, you were talking about looking like a boiled football, Mike.
Yeah.
I have never seen a man who was more genetically predetermined to be a gym teacher.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You showed me a picture. Yeah, he looked like Stacy Keach.
He has a face that you could set your watch by.
He looks like he has opinions about Democrats. I'll put it that way.
Yes.
The blocky older guy from Mindhunter.
Yes,
He looks
him.
Looks like like either a PE teacher or a government official of some form.
Did you know he was the guy in Fight Club that started the "His name was Robert Paulson" chant?
Huh, what?
The guy from Mindhunter?
Oh.
That was the same guy that did his hit in Project Mayhem in Death. A member of Project Mayhem has a name.
I thought you were talking about Woody Derenberger.
Oh, God, no.
He was in Fight Club? Fuck.
Yeah, he's old, but he was in there, man. Let me tell you. No, just the actor, again, for the other podcast.
Yeah.
So, after his first few interactions with people, Woody notices how they're frightened of him. And Indrid tells him, "It's the clothes, man.
Your clothes scare us, stranger.
They give you away as a frightening man of Earth." So Woody is convinced to strip in what Woody describes as being very similar to one of our department stores. Space Sears, as it were. So he's walking around naked. Fat, old Woody Derenberger. So...
And they're like, "Oh, put your clothes back on, please. We won't be scared anymore."
And the thing is, actually, the last sentence I said a minute ago can summarize Lanulos to a T. Every single thing on the planet is, quote, similar to what we have on Earth.
Except the nudity.
Brick homes with white picket fences.
And naked people.
Stoves.
With naked people.
Cars, but they hover. Yes. Animals, almost exactly the same.
Except the animals were naked too.
Again, with a one brain cell. So, but, like, he describes animals very similar to our dogs and our cats. And the meat from an animal very similar to our cows. Mm-hmm. It's almost like Woody couldn't think of anything truly alien.
Other than naked.
Yeah. Well,
that was just,
there's that adage of write what you know, and by God, he knew suburban America.
You're right.
It also
naked.
It also sounds like a budget episode of Star Trek.
Well, it does sound like that episode.
Yeah, they land on a planet and it's like 20th century Earth.
I was going to say, it really kind of sounds like that episode where Wesley ran through the flowers and they were going to give him a lethal injection.
It's just up, California Wesley. With some chiffon serapes.
Yeah. That was such a bad episode.
So, here's the thing. All this stuff, one thing in Indrid's house that blew Woody's mind as an appliance salesman was the laundry room.
Slaves, just full of slaves.
No, I'm pretty sure he would have been like, "By God, it's beautiful." But
well, that would blow his mind, though.
It was literally a room you hang your laundry in, and when you shut the door, the room just blasts it with cleaning fluid and water and then air to dry them. And trust me, he went on about this for a little bit.
60 pages.
Not that long, but a couple.
I mean, I guess theoretically it's not even impossible. It's just very
dumb,
inefficient.
Well, I mean, like he describes the stove as being like our stoves and a fireplace like our fireplace. And I guess he realized something's got to be weird.
Now, if everybody's naked, why do you need a laundry room?
That's my question.
For that, the
thank you for spotting that.
Infrequently.
Mm-hmm. Now, at one point in his life, Woody had worked in a steel mill. So, guess where Indrid took him, guys?
To one.
To a Lanulosian steel mill. Now, here the men wore protective clothing, and the process of creating steel was exactly like our process on Earth. Go figure.
Well, it is hard to improve on the perfection of the American steel industry. Speaking of which, remember that bit on The Simpsons with the steel mill? I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, the one where they were reaching for that rainbow?
Hot stuff coming through.
Yep. I figured I would say it's exactly what it's like on Lanulos, but they're Christian, so I don't know.
So they're just closeted.
So I don't know if you've ever seen a steel mill.
Yeah.
Like in America, anywhere. Even a modern steel mill, a foundry or something like that. Those are some hot, dirty.
They wore
dangerous.
clothes.
Yeah, but it's still... Look, if you're talking about a alien civilization that has all this technology, you think they do better than dudes in basically what looks to be the Jiffy Pop bags, the ones used on the stove.
See, now, I find it interesting you thought of that, because where my mind went, it's like a bunch of big, greasy, muscular men wearing, like, kitchen aprons. And that's their protective clothing.
Everybody dance now.
I just see, ones I see are, the silver protective garments, and the steel mill is just like dirty, like it's just because of all the like slag and shit.
Yeah, their steel is cleaner than ours.
Constantly
superior.
Black, covered in like soot and everything. It's like, and he said it's just like ours. So
exactly like ours.
So a 60s steel mill, I imagine, is even a dirtier, more dangerous place.
Yeah, there's like 5-year-olds in there working, kind of like in Arkansas now.
Jesus Christ. We've gone back.
He says it's just like ours. So
yeah.
On Lanulos, everything's a utopia except the steel mill, which is still a boiling hell.
Just imagine them in like pink kitchen aprons.
You killed me. You fucking killed me.
Instead of like protective clothing, it's just like they're trying to be sexy in the kitchen for their wife's birthday or something.
See, now I'm just picturing all of them from the "I Want to Break Free" video by Queen. It's just them all dressed as like bouffant hair and like the big handlebar mustaches.
They have the big silver thing, just no butt. assless thermal gown.
With that mental image, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back after this. And we're back. Now, during all this fun, the Mothman was happening over in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and that meant John Keel was in the area.
Hell yeah.
I feel like John Keel is almost like one of those weird disaster tourists, but just for the paranormal. Now, needless to say, once Woody's story hit the press, John Keel bolted over to his house for an interview in an attempt to see the ships.
So you're saying he's the paranormal version of what's that Weather Channel guy?
Nick Cantori.
Nick Cantori.
He was, Mike. He really, really was. Now...
Wait, there's a channel for the weather?
Yeah, and they can't seem to remember the name Mississippi.
No, can't get Biloxi right.
Oh, dude. I was listening to a podcast about the paranormal earlier today. You know, the one I was talking about, the Kryptonite podcast. Motherfucker said Biloxi.
Biloxi.
And I almost lost my shit.
That's some northern bullshit.
That is some northern bullshit. It's Biloxi. It is a tribe. Get it right. So, anyway, so John Keel shows up and goes over to Woody's house to interview him and see if he can get a glimpse of these ships. Because, again, like you mentioned, David, they're in the middle of a flap. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that Woody had started doing with his newfound powers of telepathy was to basically call up Indrid Cold and ask him if he could fly a ship around in front of strangers to impress them.
UFO on demand.
And for some reason, Indrid apparently had nothing else going on.
Well, there's only so much naked you could be at home.
He would often do it. He would show up.
I mean, I wonder what the response time on that is. If he's
pretty quick. Apparently, we're talking between 1 minute and 15 minutes, depending.
Lanulos is in another galaxy, right?
Yep.
So,
no, you got to understand. One of the things I didn't bring up in the outline is that Indrid is an explorer, what they call a searcher, and God, these fucking nimrods. Anyway, point is, he's stationed on Earth.
So he has a base of operations.
Yes, he
but
does.
Still, Woody has dial a UFO.
Yes.
Yeah. So Woody has this incredible gift of visitor communication, and he uses it to have them do fucking sky donuts over people's houses.
It's like,
yes.
It's like when you're a kid and you have something really cool and you just wear the hell out of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so, of course, he calls Indrid on his brain phone, and he shows up the night John Keel's there.
Hey, John, you want to see something cool?
Yeah, I do. So, John sees the lights in the distance, and he takes off after them, which, all right, that tracks.
But wasn't the UFO coming to him?
Well, it was there. He was it was in the sky doing tricks and shit, and John Keel just bolts off after it, which, if you've read the Mothman prophecies, yeah, that totally fucking tracks.
Yeah, like a Labrador Retriever.
You would have just had, like, Indrid land right there in front of John if he had just stayed the fuck still.
Nope.
Because that would make sense, and, like, we're not allowed
this
to have
is
that.
not a narrative. This is real.
Yes.
By the time John makes it back to the farm, not only has he fallen into several mud holes in the dark, but he has also been chased by the angry bull.
At least wasn't
This
the
just
horny
sounds
bull.
like an episode of The Simpsons.
Doesn't it?
Like John Keel sounds like Homer Simpson here.
He does. But the thing is, John being John, stayed friends with Tonya, his Woody's daughter, and joked with her about this until his dying day. John Keel never denied that any of this happened.
And that's when the bull chased me.
You just said Homer Simpson. I'm thinking, no, Indrid.
Oh, God.
All right. So I do want to jump in here because I found some stuff as well.
Please.
Now, have we mentioned the Smiling Man yet, Kevin?
We have not, but
okay.
I want you to give us a breakdown because we are going to do an episode about them.
Right, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but as this is going on with, Woody and John Keel and Indrid Cold, there's other stuff going on. Like, this is a major thing in West Virginia. There's this flap going on. It's connecting to another cryptid known as the Smiling Man. Indrid Cold could very well be the Smiling Man in some cases. But,
possibly.
So this is another encounter, and I want to reference it real quick. I'm just going to crib from the Mysterious Universe article that I found on it, because it involves what appears to be poltergeist activity, and poltergeist activity and UFO activity do have a correlation that can be observed from time to time.
Right.
It's weird shit happening. There you go.
Lots of weird shit begets weird shit.
Again, this is like freaky deaky shit in Point Pleasant around the same time. In this case, the activity surrounded a family known as the Lilies. Specifically, they had been dealing with the poltergeist activity and strange lights in the sky above their home. Sounds familiar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, quoting Miss Lily, quote, "We've seen all kinds of strange things, blue lights, green ones, red ones, and things that change color. Some have been so low that we thought we could see diamond-shaped windows in them, and none of them make any noise at all," end quote. Now, the strange thing here is that this activity also featured a grinning man. Whether it was Indrid, Demo, or Carl, it revolved around the daughter, Linda Lily. Now, Keel interviewed her about this while he was investigating the whole Mothman flap.
Yes.
Of what was going on. So I'm going to quote Linda here. Quote, it was a big man, very broad. I couldn't see his face very well, but I could see that he was grinning at me. He walked around the bed and stood right over me. I screamed again and hid under the covers. When I looked again, he was gone. Now,
sounds very familiar to something that happened to me.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just imagining him like, "Hey, you up? How
Hello, little girl. Are you awake? I'm Indrid Cold."
So, this is just one of the few events that seem to paint these grinning men. If we're looking at Indrid Cold as one of them, as a kind of MIB figure, the article from Mysterious Universe lays out a few other examples, but one theory is essentially that Indrid Cold is basically a shitty Green Lantern. He's like a space cop. Like,
oh God.
Yeah, like there's a whole thing. Like when we cover the Smiling Man, we'll get to that because it could be like the Men in Black are the Smiling Men, and they might be, space cops, basically.
That is the dumbest theory I've heard, and yet it makes a little bit of sense.
It's fantastic, and I wish it were true.
Yes.
But yeah, let's get back to your script. But I thought I should bring that up because, again, we've got John Keel in this area, a lot of similar things going on, and there's been connections drawn between Indrid Cold and this image of the Smiling Man.
Well, one of the things about John Keel is he never let the facts get in the way of a good story. So it's definitely, he found ways to link a lot of things that maybe shouldn't have been linked, or maybe they should have. We'll find out when we delve in deeper.
So just a tangent here, the Smiling Man, Hat Man, Slender Man, just want to come up with a cryptid type thing, just come up with any mundane descriptor and add man to it.
The Man.
Have you heard about the Flannel Man?
The Hairy Man.
No, there is
Bald Man.
There's a Flannel Man.
Flannel Man. What about
It's basically, Mike, imagine you're being haunted by the brawny guy.
Being haunted by someone from Portland.
Maybe it's time for a woman.
Oh, the Woman.
You know what I'm saying?
The Man.
Yeah.
He's just a man that's also a man.
Slender chick. No. That's terrible, sorry. So,
Thick Man.
Wait, K or 2 C's?
2 C's.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. He thick. So, if this story had a villain, it would be the entities Indrid Cold refers to as the humanoids.
Now, wasn't that a Hanna-Barbera cartoon that ran with Space Ghost?
That was the Herculoids, and it should be revered.
I thought, wait, what was the Inhumanoids?
That was tied in with the G.I. Joe universe, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, they had that weird Cthulhu-looking thing and like a big demon.
Aren't all of them humanoids? Like, aren't I humanoids? And Indrid's a humanoid?
Yeah, we're all humanoids, realistically, but you got to remember...
Oh, they were uncreative, and you couldn't come up with a name.
The universe is dumb in this.
They couldn't call them like
the
Blarpians.
They blew their load on Lanulos. Okay.
Now, see, I appreciate the gender inclusivity in the term here. That's nice for 1966.
The humanoids.
Yeah, humanoids.
Instead of the well, we'll get to that.
The man people.
The mannoids, yes.
The womanoids.
The humanoids have very little to do with this narrative, but Woody and Tanya both put so much emphasis on them that I feel we really need to cover them.
So it's like that super important character, but that's just not there that much and really doesn't do anything, so they're not really that important. But
well, it's more like the MCU where they'll put like a character, they'll introduce an episode, or they'll introduce a character in the sequel, and then that character gets a 10-episode series on Disney+.
No, it's more like Mike was talking about. It's kind of like a character in a Douglas Adams book that seems really important, and then it turns out, nope, it's just a joke.
Now, see, I'm trying to make this contemporary for
I understand,
listeners.
But I feel people need to go read Douglas Adams.
No, that's true. That's true.
So
it can be two things at once.
It can be all those things and more. So a local teen by the name of, quote, Jim was... sorry... He is parked on a hot and humid summer night with his cousin Darla. Now,
when you go parking on a hot and humid summer night.
Now, the book makes damn sure that you know that they were researching UFOs.
Quote, I see that.
This is rural West Virginia in the 1960s, and, well, you do the math.
Now, look, clearly incest has never happened in West Virginia ever, so let's just move on.
Yeah, let's do that. So, as they're watching the sky doing their UFO research, a pink glowing UFO lands in the forest.
So he found the clitoris.
He did. And before they know it, an alien approaches the car. It has red eyes and feathers for hair, and you know what? It's the weird chicken guys from Highlander 2, okay? That's exactly what they're described like. That's it.
I barely remember them.
It's just fucking chicken dudes that move like chickens. Okay. They got feathers for hair, and they act like chicken dudes.
So with red eyes. They're not a man, they're a chicken boo.
Yes. Thank you for making that joke. So anyway, Chicken Man asks Jim if the young lady is his wife, which further strengthens my questions about what the fuck they were doing.
Even the Chicken Man is like, this seems kind of fucked up.
Man, our scans say you're cousins. Come on, man.
Hey, man, what are you to put her bra back on? So, after a hasty explanation that no, she isn't, Chicken Cuck asks him to follow him into the woods. So, he leads him to their ship, where there's 2 more chicken men. And that's when they tell him to give him his shoes.
Wait.
Now that's a KFC bucket of chicken, right?
No.
That's not enough for a KFC bucket?
No. Seriously, okay. we need your fucking shoes for, like, testing. Seriously, just give me your fucking shoes. We'll bring it back tomorrow. I don't give a fuck. Just give me your fucking shoes.
It's like, is this the Chicken Man Quentin Tarantino?
You know, I don't know.
You know, you did say chicken cuck, so I just want to make the low-hanging pun of chicken cluck.
God damn it, that's terrible. So Jim hands over his shoes.
It's like he went to prison and he's getting hazed by chicken people.
Yes, exactly. So Jim gives him his shoes and then walks back to the car. And then he goes and drops Darla off at her house. Hopefully she doesn't reek of sex. And then he hightails it over to Woody's place to tell him about the aliens, because who else are you going to talk to about this?
He's the local UFO freak.
I know. If you know a dude that says he knows aliens and you get mugged for your shoes by aliens...
His shoes ended up like... with their laces tied together, wrapped around an interstellar power line.
Yes, that's it exactly.
I was going to say it sounds like prison hazing, or it's like that bit in Always Sunny where they put Dennis into that mental hospital and Sinbad and Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20 bully him and take his shoes.
Yes, it's exactly like that episode. So Woody hears this story from him, and he calls Indrid on his brain phone.
Ring, brain phone.
And he tells his friend, him his friend has been mugged by chicken cucks. And he's supposed to meet them in the exact same spot the next night to get his shoes back.
I've just been huffing the shoe funk all night.
You're going to say something, David?
Oh, no, I'm trying to figure out what they want with the shoes.
Well, we'll get there.
Sniffing.
Okay.
So,
I gotta know.
I know you do. It's okay, buddy. I understand. Indrid tells him, all right, but you go with him, and we're going to be there tomorrow night, too.
Now, where does Jesus fit into all this?
Man, actually, Jesus is the Lord and Savior of Lanulos.
But like...
Does he live on Lanulos?
If they're space Christians, what...
Oh, they came from Earth originally. I didn't put that in the outline. They're humans from Earth.
That seems kind of important.
I know, but like it never gets explained, so it doesn't make any sense.
Like, none of this seems super Christian. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I understand that.
Kevin, that's the Ark. The Ark wasn't actually a boat. It was a
spaceship.
UFO. Whoosh, and took them to the far-off galaxy of Ganymede.
Mike, have you been reading Zachariah Sitchin lately?
No, but you keep telling me this shit, and it just kind of, it's like plaque or tartar on your teeth. It keeps building up.
You can brush, my friend.
I can't.
So
I need like mental floss.
Okay. Well, that's a website. So the following night, Woody, Jim, and poor Darla go out to get the fucking shoes. So they see the ships landed, and there's the chicken cucks. And then before they reach the chicken men, Indrid, Carl, and Demo jump out like the Spanish Inquisition and tell them to beat it.
But the shoes.
They say we'll get the shoes back. They escort the pink ship off-planet, and Indrid psychically explains things to Woody. He tells him these beings are known as the humanoids, and they come from outside of our galaxy.
Wait a minute. Our galaxy?
Yes.
That infers that Lanulos is in the same galaxy.
Mike.
Narrative. I'm
the
getting
universe
that,
is stupid.
I'm getting that
the universe
narrative
the universe is stupid.
Is not
No.
the strong point.
No, this is fact. The universe is stupid.
Okay.
So their big thing is on their home planet, there is no personal property, so they can take anything they want that's just laying around. So they go around, look for planets, and steal whatever they want. Like, say, your fucking shoes. And they were going to steal the guy's shoes again. Other than that, these guys are harmless. Except, he says, these are the aliens that abducted Betty and Barney Hill.
So that previous point
about
the having no personal property. This is just a dig on communism and socialism.
Yeah. No, this is straight up McCarthyism in space. Fuck the humanoids. So
they're gonna take your shit.
They're gonna steal your shoes.
And your shoes. And your women.
No,
but mostly your shoes.
But these are the aliens that abducted Betty and Barney Hill.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
According to Indrid Cold.
But they don't look anything like what the
No,
aliens were
not
described
even
as.
fucking remotely. But we'll get back to these assholes later.
I don't know. They don't sound like assholes so much as just kind of an inconvenience.
Now, I will also say that the next morning, Jim wakes up and his shoes are sitting on the porch.
Fuck. So here's another idea.
Okay.
Just buy new fucking shoes. Also, are we sure they're not crow people given their propensity for stealing shit?
It's completely possible that they're crow people, but I find chicken people is much more insulting to them.
They didn't really steal, though. They asked for them.
Yeah, but they weren't going to give them back.
And
they lied about
him. They bullied him into giving up his shoes like a 6-year-old.
They didn't sound
give me your
like,
fucking shoes.
It didn't sound like much bullying. It was more like, hey, give us your shoes. Like,
you know what else this reminds me of?
Dude was just nice.
It reminds me of something that would happen to Coach McGurk in home movies.
It does. There's a very McGurkian quality to it.
Yeah. Or him walking. Brendan, give me your fucking shoes. I need your shoes right now. But these are the only shoes I give me your fucking shoes.
The chicken cups were just
I need them to make a point,
squiggly.
Brendan. I need to make a point.
I have to sell them. I bought swords again.
I was going to say he's trying to teach the kids a lesson about taking care of their equipment, so he throws Brendan's shoes under his car and runs him over. That seems like a character for Coach McGurk.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just a planet. They're from the planet McGurk. Let's just say that, okay? That in my head canon is they're from the planet McGurk.
Well, Indrid Cold is described as wearing like a one-piece thing, like all the characters.
God, you're right.
Now,
my God.
Why didn't Indrid mention the space chicken people earlier?
It wasn't worth it. I mean,
this just sounds like something like was
it
added in
does seem
Act
like
2 out of nowhere and wasn't really set up properly.
Nobody cares about
it.
them.
Really sounds like the kind of thing you would bring up. Like, oh, by the way, if you meet some other aliens that look like chicken dudes, fuck those guys.
Yeah, we're not the only
fine.
ones. It's not just space Christian. There's also space bird communists.
Yes, godless space communists from the red planet.
They're just gonna take your shoes. Don't worry about it.
What you don't know is that Mars, the canals they saw formed a hammer and sickle.
Oh,
yeah. See, you didn't know that.
Touch the side of my nose.
Oh, it really is the red planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, all of these visits from aliens started impacting Woody's life.
You don't say.
His job began to suffer.
Really?
Because people would call him to buy appliances, and he would go out there, and they just want to interview him about UFOs.
And they don't buy the appliance.
They do not.
Wow.
His children begin to get bullied at school. They get traumatized by all the strangers marching onto their land with rifles and shotguns looking for, quote, them aliens.
Like you would.
And his wife has had just about a fucking enough.
Welcome to West Virginia.
Yes. To quote that sticker I want to get, just about McFucking had it. So, over the next several years, the Derenbergers would move between Ohio and West Virginia and several other states in an attempt to have a normal life. But no matter where they moved, Indrid Cold followed, and with him, the media in hot pursuit. It's kind of hard to keep a UFO hovering over your house quiet.
I mean, so maybe it's a case of like the Royals thing going on now. It's like, just shut your mouth and you probably won't have so much media paying attention to you.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
But
now you said UFO hovering over the house all the time, which means obviously we have a bunch of photos of these UFOs, right?
Of course.
With all the media and alien groupies around all the time, right?
Yeah,
yeah. See, there's these drawings.
A lot of people had cameras in the 60s.
Why do they keep bringing in courtroom sketch artists for these events? Why do they bring a fucking camera?
Nobody has a single photo of a Lanulosian ship.
Kevin, you have a camera from the 1930s that takes very acceptable photos.
Yes,
Surely
I do.
These people in the 60s had cameras as well.
I don't have an answer for that.
I'm going to go see the UFO that's surely hovering there and
not take a single photo.
Not take my camera.
Not take a goddamn photo.
I'm going to draw it on a cocktail napkin.
Yes.
I'm going to bring my cousin, the cousin wife, the court sketch artist.
Yes. Now, for a time, Woody would get picked up and taken out to the ship to sort of relieve tensions. So, yeah, I mean, between him and his wife.
An oiled massage.
So,
little like the
Indrid
doesn't understand you.
Indrid or one of his men, like Demo
or
Carl, would come and pick him up in their VW Bug with West Virginia plates.
I think what he actually ran into was hippies, not aliens.
So the VW Bug, in my opinion, is one of the most absurd things about all of this, even with the chicken people. Why a beetle? What the fuck is going on?
Looks like a spaceship.
There's a theory, and we'll get to that theory toward the end, all right?
Of course there's a fucking theory. There's always a fucking theory.
Yes,
this is ridiculous. I'm so mad.
I know. Oh my God, you're killing me. So, Woody tried to make ends meet for a long while through speaking engagements at UFO conventions, and they did pay. But if there is one rule you should all know, there is no money in this, only ruination. All right? And that ruination truly came when Catherine divorced Woody.
Oh man.
Aw.
Woody would eventually settle down with a new wife. Do you know who that wife was?
Nope.
Darla.
Oh.
The cousin.
The cousin. Well, not his cousin, but the cousin of
Jim's cousin.
Jim's cousin.
Yes, he would marry Darla and live a quiet existence and try to keep under the radar, or as quiet as he could when your best friend is a fucking alien from Lanulos. Now,
just making love to his new wife and keeps hearing.
Now, I want to point out.
Are you scoring?
Are you getting it? Yeah.
Stay hard, Woody.
Here's the thing I want to point out, though, that just popped in my head. Now, when all this was going on, Woody was around 50-something. Darla was a teenager.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. So,
real spring, autumn relationship there.
I was going to say some real perverted shit. But, now, Woody was not the only person visited by Indrid Cold, even if he was the most frequent. All around the area of Mineral Wells, people talked about the smiling man who would visit them at their homes. Sometimes he claimed to be an alien. Other times he would claim to be a government agent. His friends Carl and Demo were often seen with him, in their VW Bug. Sightings of him spread as far away as New Jersey, with children saying a man in a shiny green jumpsuit stared at them with a menacing smile. John Keel would collect these other reports, like you mentioned, related to smiling invaders in his work and lumped Cold in with him, and he's linked with the sinister Smiling Man urban legends to this day.
So he's like a sinister, stretched-out leprechaun, but only instead of leading to a pot of gold, he leads to divorces.
Yes, that's it exactly. Hello, welcome to the end of your peaceful life. Yeah. So one of the more interesting...
Are you happily married? Not anymore.
Yes.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Indrid Cold. I'm here to fuck up your life.
Here, shake my hand. It's a stink palm. So
I'm going to give you a pink eye.
Oh, God. Actually, Mike, that's funny you say that. Most people exposed to UFOs end up with pink eye.
Well, that's because all the aliens are nude and they sit on the furniture, and then if you lay down on it, you get the pink eye.
Well, never sniff the ass resting spot of an alien.
Yeah. Well, which ass? Because they have multiple eyes? I don't know.
No.
It's
from all the poo in their eyes.
It's a poo eye. So, one of the more interesting things to come out of this was from Tanya Derenberger. Now, when they were looking at photos to try to identify who, we'll call them Team Cold, could be, they came across a picture of the famous Venusian Valiant Thor. Now, Valiant Thor was supposedly an alien from Venus that helped Eisenhower broker the Gaeta Treaty for technology in exchange for abductees. Now, more likely he was a disinformation agent, but we'll get to that in a bit.
We also absolutely need to cover Valiant Thor and the Gaeta Treaty.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yes. Now, without knowing who the picture was or of his role in history, Tanya got excited at the picture of Valiant Thor and started yelling, "That's him! That's Indrid Cold!" Now, this
I guess she really warmed up to him.
She loved the Colds.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I just got that joke. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Fuck you. So, this implies that whoever Cold was, he was no stranger to ufology and no stranger to convincing people to spread alien messages of love. Thor was also a representative of a utopian society of psychic Christians, but that time from Venus. Now, I'm sure we're going to do this a full episode on him in the future. We have to.
Mm-hmm. Now, Christian aliens is such a specifically wacky allowance that New Age Christians, I've seen them use. Mm-hmm. We saw the same thing when we did that riff on that documentary as a Patreon bonus. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so there's this kind of cognitive dissonance of exploring New Age non-secular beliefs with their religious programming. So they merge these two ideas in a way that feels... It helps them feel right about exploring non-Christian theology and beliefs, but still has that kind of like theistic anchor to it. It's very weird.
Exactly.
It's grounding.
It is. Mm-hmm. It's also exactly like all those pictures of Sonic the Hedgehog coming to Jesus on DeviantArt. It is exactly the same. Mm-hmm. Now, excuse me. The other thing to note on this is that there are claims Woody was subjected to MK-Ultra experimentation and some extremely interesting visuals, then sent out to spread this hokey mess to distract the public. From what? Who knows, because it seems to have worked. Now, the thing to remember is that this entire thing was at the tail end of the Space Brothers contactee movement, where aliens wanted nothing but peace for us, and for us to stop it with all the nukes.
Gort, Klaatu, Barada, Nikto.
So
I'll take the book now.
So you could say Indrid was very anti-Cold War.
You guys, you motherfuckers. Now, Mike, this is going to be kind of new to you. Our last update about Indrid Cold comes courtesy of Greg and Dana Newkirk's wonderful show, Hellier. Now, in it, due to a series of events that are entirely too complex to get into and explain, they end up on the trail of Indrid Cold. And the only source they really have is Tanya.
Now we've mentioned Hellier a few times on the podcast, and it is a show that, for my money, is the best produced paranormal documentary series of the past, 20 years.
Yeah.
It just, the meticulous documentation of everything is exactly what I want in these sort of projects, and I cannot recommend it enough.
All I'm going to say is tin cans.
Tin cans and balloons.
Tin cans and balloons. That's all you need to know.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Tony explains that Indrid, Connor, and Connard continued to visit her into the present day at the nursing home she's in. On their most recent visit, though, Connor and Connard said that Indrid had died when his ship crashed while chasing humanoids away from Earth. You know, the chicken guys from earlier.
So he died behind the wheel in a game of chicken?
Yes, literally.
Oh,
now,
boy.
The Newkirks are not so sure. They feel Indrid may be an ultra-terrestrial from the super spectrum. Who knows for sure?
But he also has trickster characteristics, and it's in line with what they were investigating, that there would be some sort of trickery element here.
That's true. I also kind of picture him looking like Loki when he was dressed as
D.B. Cooper.
D.B. Cooper, yes, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You said superstructure, so I finished my drink.
oh, hey, there you go. I was wondering what that noise was. All right. And that's where it ends. We're left with questions that have no answers. We're not even sure if Indrid Cold was a real person, but we think he was. What we do know is that he ruined fucking lives. Woody, after his divorce, of course, married Darla. And Tanya, unfortunately, seems to have been the worst for all this. She looks at the Colds as guardian angels for her and her family. She's divorced, she is estranged from her children, and she continues to wait in the old folks' home. She waits for a trip to Lanulos her father promised her when she was 4. She waits, and she still believes.
Tanya's specific case here feels particularly devastating to me. Her father being a true believer, like, I can accept that. But with her kind of being the last of her family and still believing all this, just kind of fills me with this weird sort of sadness.
I know, and she believes hardcore. She has cut people out of her life for not believing. The dedication in her book, Beyond Lanulos, is pretty fucking heartbreaking, because it's a plea to her children to, I hope you can forgive me. And I'm like, wow, this is hardcore.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, one of the theories is that Indrid Cold is a disinformation agent, like the Space Brothers movement. Mm-hmm. Basically, a distraction from something. And I kind of feel like that's the answer here.
I wouldn't say it's the answer.
I feel it is. What do you think it is?
I mean, so the way the ship was first described, and then later saying they had a Volkswagen Beetle.
Mm-hmm.
The ship, I mean, the Hurricane Land shape is very close to a VW Beetle itself.
It kind of is, yeah.
So maybe you just got like high accidentally.
It was a dark and stormy night.
I mean, maybe he met these guys at a rest stop and took some acid with them. And
you look at the picture of Woody Derenberger. I don't think this man knows what acid is, except for the stuff you use to clean with.
I was going to say he knows what acid reflux is.
Sure.
Yeah. That's a man who eats his red meat.
Goddamn chili peppers burn my gut.
I mean, he was taking a walk on the wild side with some hippies and dropped some acid. And, had a fantastic time and ruined his family.
I feel like I don't think it was a purposeful trip. I once again throw in the MK Ultra thing, or at least I think he was dosed. And maybe then the bug turned into a hurricane lantern globe.
I mean, I could see it as being like a psyops thing. Like, you already got all the shit going on in West Virginia, so, you have this guy who has a reliable delivery pattern.
And he's also...
He's
too far away for the poisoning from the TNT plant is the other thing.
Yes, the poisoning of the TNT plant. That's one thing that we don't emphasize enough with the Mothman thing.
Yeah, that was in the ground. That was in the water table.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you think? Seriously, though.
I mean,
this is obviously too dumb to be real.
Yeah. I don't get the... I mean, I know MK Ultra was a real thing, but I don't think they were just out there dosing regular people. I mean, that's just a little too beyond the pale. Like, they had plenty of, soldiers that were...
we're talking about...
This is the same government that, like, took black communities and infected them with, what was it?
Anthrax?
Was it anthrax? Or
I think it was anthrax.
Yeah. So this is the same kind of government that goes through and, like, they'll test, like, mind-altering shit on people and communities. So like I understand like the reluctance, but also like it doesn't seem that far-fetched given the shit that like the US government's done before.
See, my whole reasoning is that this was an attempt to disarm the entire UFO movement. Mm-hmm. But that's me.
Why would you have to disarm something?
Or just get information out there, get the most insane thing out there.
Here's the thing is that to want to take these drastic steps would mean that they're close to something real. And I don't, from my perspective, they're not, if UFOs aren't real, why a disinformation campaign?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about UFOs, like, again, it's unidentified flying object. It doesn't have to be alien in origin. It could be a government test of something that they want to keep quiet.
I mean, even then, so you saw some shit in the sky. I mean, discrediting people by... It doesn't make any sense to try to discredit someone by, having some weird space
Mike,
brother thing.
Mike, have you seen how Washington operates? Not making sense is how they thrive.
Here's the thing, though, is that the bigger a conspiracy is, the more likely, you're going to have leaks. I just don't think the government is capable of having a coherent and secure conspiracy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. This is like definitely...
Yeah. This is one of those things where I think we're both standing on opposite sides of this, and that's fine. I've got my reasons for believing what I believe, and it's kind of hard to explain. I need to...
Yeah.
Brain.
You know what? Fuck the both of you. You're dead to me.
What?
That's how we're doing this now. We're
fighting. We're not fighting. God damn it! I am saying it was MK Ultra.
It's like it brings. To
mind... wait. You're on my side. Why did I tell you to fuck off?
Yeah. What the fuck, dude?
It brings to mind a thing recently I learned that. So the you know what the B-2 bomber. Do you know what its original code name was? So the F-117 had had two prototypes called Have Blue and Tacit Blue. The B-2 had a code name. You want to know what that code name was?
What was that?
Aurora. Mm-hmm. The Aurora, remember? The Aurora that everybody claimed was like some SR-71 super plane. Mm-hmm. No, it turns out it's the B-2. A triangle-shaped black aircraft flying around Nevada in the late 80s, early 90s. Mm. So, the Revell Model Company really fluffed that one up when they came out with this, super high speed.
Yeah.
Depiction of what the military was supposedly developing, when it turns out it was just a slow flying wing bomber that was super stealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. Well, this has for the most part been fun right up until the end when I got depressed and we started arguing about MK Ultra.
No, fuck you.
No, fuck the chicken cucks.
No, I don't want to fuck them.
I'm saying, I mean metaphorically, not realistically. So, thanks, guys, for listening. We appreciate it. Holy shit, I forgot right at the top. We should have announced we have a new patron.
Well, whoa. This is the space for that anyway.
Yeah, we got a new patron. It is Man in Black.
Oh. Wait, what? Now you're going to make me get all conspiracized.
It's Eric from our Discord, dude.
Okay.
It's fine.
Sure.
He's cool, dude. He's
Sure.
cool. It's cool, man. It's cool. It's not Indrid Cold. But, welcome.
No, it's
thank
just
you.
a robot in a off-the-rack suit.
Yeah, that too. So, thank you for that. And thank you to all of our patrons. We appreciate it. You help keep us going. Was that a cat?
That was a cat.
That was a cat. Yes, it is.
Oh.
All right.
I was touching her butt, and she...
Ginger says thank you as well. So, thank you, everyone, for listening. You can find everything for the show on supernatpod.rocks. You can find us on Mastodon at supernatpod at horrorhub.club. You can find me on Mastodon at Kota0tan, K-O-T-A-O-T-A-N, at retro.pizza. David, what would you like to plug this week?
I'm going to plug that the Taco Bell is going to be bringing back the volcano menu this summer.
The volcano menu?
Yeah, the volcano burrito, volcano taco. They got that lava sauce, so that's nice.
I missed that, apparently.
Yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back in June,
Okay.
baby.
Cool. All right.
Nature is healing.
Yeah. Okay. We're plugging that, are we?
Yes.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay. I just want to say I really like where RG Bots is going with the dead green still. So.
Yeah, I'm going to new depths that I wasn't aware that I was able to go to.
Ja, Zivana Herzog. So. Mike, anything you want to plug?
I just want to say I just broke my microphone stand and the cat scratched the shit out of me.
Nice. That is terrible.
Yes, it is.
Like, broke?
Yeah. Like the base broke off.
Goddamn. Well,
I was
everyone.
adjusting it and it just sheared the fuck off.
Well, shit. Well, everybody.
This is Mike's last episode.
You can donate to.
The microphone works, just this shitty metal.
Yeah, but you're going to have to hold the microphone the entire time.
Well,
You're not going to want to do that.
I've got like a desk one you can borrow for a while.
Have to go on Amazon or something.
Remember, you can donate at supernatpod.rock/Patreon if you would like to help Mike get a new stand. So, wow, that was fortuitous. Thank you, Eric. That's
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, no kidding.
So just every episode we should break something and hopefully we get a new.
I just broke my leg, so please donate for a new fucking leg. No, thank you everyone for listening. We really do appreciate it. You guys are great. And you give us a really good reason to get together once a week and have a good time. And we'll be getting together twice a week in the near future.
Maybe.
Ooh.
Yes, for the other show, which we still need a name for. Mm-hmm. So, does anybody have any words of wisdom to close out on?
In the words of the hyper chicken, buck buck bacaw.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Don't trust cheaply Chinese-made microphone stands.
There you go.
While you have a cat in your lap.
There you go. That'll do
That
it.
hurt a lot.
I bet it did. It sounded painful. That's why I kept looking over my monitor like, is Mike dead?
Yeah.
All right. So, we'll see you next week for a new episode. So until then, stay safe and stay frosty. Goodbye.
Give me your shoes.
Just give me your fucking shoes. Give me your cat's shoes while you're at it.
This isn't a fucking bit.
This isn't
Give me those shoes.
Give us the goddamn
those
shoes.
shoes.
Caw.
Caw.
Cuck-caw.
Cuck. Oh my god. Give us your mother cucking shoes.
Chicken mango cuck-cuck.
Whoop whoop.